All right, so today we're gonna we're diving deep into Opeth's latest album,
Okay.
The Last Will and Testament.
Right.
We've got album reviews and band interviews,
Mm-hmm.
the whole shebang, ready to unpack what makes this album tick.
Ooh.
And let me tell you,
Yeah.
even for a seasoned Opeth fan like myself,
Uh-huh.
there are some serious surprises lurking in these tracks.
I agree.
Yeah.
Opeth has never been a band to rest on their laurels.
Right.
And this album just definitely takes them in some unexpected direction.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew a concept album was coming.
Right.
But this whole post-World War I,
Mm-hmm.
wealthy patriarch family secrets exploding thing,
Oh, yeah.
that's a whole new level of drama for them, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Setting it in that era with all the societal upheaval
Right.
and lingering trauma creates this really potent backdrop
Yeah.
for the story they're telling.
And the way they've structured the album with song titles like legal documents is so clever.
It is.
Almost like we're reading the will ourselves, uncovering these dark family secrets.
Yeah, like a musical mystery.
One by one.
Yeah, drawing us in with these fragmented clues.
Okay, now I gotta ask, because I know a lot of longtime fans are losing their minds over this.
Yeah.
The death growls are back.
Yes, they are.
After all this time, what prompted Mikael Åkerfeldt to bring them back in such a big way?
It seems like it was a very deliberate choice.
Mm-hmm.
He's talked about how the raw aggression of that vocal style just fits the emotional landscape of this album.
Yeah.
And let's be honest,
Yeah.
they pack a serious punch,
They do?
especially alongside those incredibly intricate musical arrangements.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then he throws us a curveball and says he's not writing metal for thinkers.
Right.
What do you make of that?
I think he's pushing back against the idea
Okay.
that Opeth music has to be intellectually complex to be valid.
Okay.
It's about emotional depth,
Right.
and sometimes the most visceral expressions are the most powerful.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. And you can hear that in the music itself.
Mm.
There's this incredible blend of prog metal, rock, even these moments that feel almost classical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One reviewer called this album the most dazzling, multifaceted Opeth album of all time.
Wow.
I think that's spot on.
Yeah.
There's so much going on musically,
Right.
but it all feels so cohesive.
Oh, I'm definitely hearing that. But when I saw 12-tone technique mentioned in the source material, my jaw dropped.
Oh, yeah.
12-tone. That's hardcore.
It is. I've never heard that in metal.
It's definitely an unconventional choice,
Oh.
but it works brilliantly in this context.
Right.
Think about it. This technique is all about creating dissonance, tension, and a sense of unease. What better way to reflect the emotional turmoil of this family tearing itself apart?
Whoa, yeah, that's making a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
So he's using this technique to actually make us feel the story,
Yeah.
not just hear it. Genius.
And speaking of unexpected choices, did you see the guest list on this album?
Oh, absolutely. Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull.
What?
Joey Tempest from Europe.
Oh, wow.
Those are some intriguing collaborations, to say the least.
It's like he's pulling in these iconic figures
Yeah.
from different corners of the musical universe
Totally.
to add another layer of texture and depth to the sound.
And what's interesting is that Åkerfeldt has been very clear.
Yeah.
These guest appearances aren't about star power.
Okay.
He only wants people who can truly elevate the music,
Right.
who understand the vision,
Mm-hmm.
and can contribute something unique.
Okay. That makes me respect him even more.
Yeah,
It's all about the art, not the hype.
exactly.
And speaking of legendary settings,
Yes,
they recorded this whole thing at Rockfield Studios, right?
they did.
Queen Rush, Black Sabbath, so much musical history in those walls.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like the studio itself
Yeah.
becomes another character in the story,
I love that.
adding this sense of weight and legacy to the music.
Okay, so we've got Death Growls making a comeback, this intricate concept album format, surprise guest appearances, and a recording location steeped in rock and roll history.
Right.
What else have they thrown at us?
Well, there's one more big change we haven't talked about yet.
Oh, man, I'm on the edge of my seat. What is it?
They have a new drummer.
No way. That's huge. Who is it? What's the story there?
His name is Waltteri Väyrynen,
Okay.
and by all accounts, he's an absolute beast behind the kit.
Wow.
The band members have talked about how he just blew them away with his technical skill
Right.
and his ability to capture the nuances
Yeah.
of Åkerfeldt's incredibly complex drumming parts.
Wow, that's a lot to live up to.
It is.
I'm dying to hear what he brings to the table, but before we get to that, let's talk about the lyrics.
Okay.
I mean, we know there's this whole family drama unfolding,
Right.
but what's the emotional core of the story? What's Åkerfeldt trying to say here?
It seems like he's digging deeper into personal territory with this album. He's mentioned drawing inspiration from his own family stories, even the TV series Succession.
Oh, wow.
Exploring these universal themes of hidden legacies and the weight of family secrets.
Oh, okay, so it's not just a historical drama, it's tapping into something much more personal, more raw.
I think so.
And I have a feeling those death growls are going to hit even harder knowing that...
I think you're right.
Yeah.
There's a vulnerability in Åkerfeldt's songwriting this time around that's really compelling, and I think it's going to resonate with listeners on a whole other level.
I'm totally with you. So we've got all these elements in play, this intricate web of music lyrics, history, and emotion.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that's really got me hooked.
What's that?
And that's this whole mystery surrounding the will itself.
Okay.
We know there are secrets. We know there's a twist. But what is it?
Well, that's what we're going to unravel as we dive deeper into the album.
All right, I'm ready to get to the bottom of this.
Let's do it.
But first, a quick word from our sponsors.
Okay. You know, reading through these reviews, it struck me how carefully Åkerfeldt crafted the sound of this album. He's really trying to pull you into the world of the story.
Oh, absolutely. Like that first track, Len, starts with footsteps and a creaking door.
Right.
It's such a simple thing, but it instantly puts you in that room waiting for the will to be read.
Yeah.
So smart.
And then you have Ian Anderson's voice.
Oh, yeah.
As haunting spoken word intro.
Right.
Almost like a ghost from the past, setting the stage for all this family drama.
It gives me chills, honestly. And then the music kicks in, and it's not just heavy, it's like layered.
It is.
You can hear the complexity of the family's history in those riffs and melodies.
Åkerfeldt was inspired by the show Succession.
Oh, really?
Which is all about these power struggles in a wealthy family.
Right.
You can definitely feel that influence in the music.
Yeah, there's this undercurrent of tension. Like something's about to snap, and then those death growls come in.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like all that hidden rage just explodes.
The song 2 is a great example of that.
Okay.
The drumming on that track is insane.
Oh, wow.
Totally showcasing what Walter Weaving can do.
But isn't that risky, bringing in a new drummer for such a complex album?
It is.
Did they just throw him in the deep end?
It seems like Åkerfeldt really challenged him.
Yeah.
There are parts where Väinänen shifts from 78 to 44 time signature in the bridge.
Wow.
Creating this feeling of unease that perfectly matches the lyrics.
Wow. I gotta pay closer attention to that when I listen again. See, this is what I love about these deep dives.
Totally.
You pick up on stuff you'd never notice on your own.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
But then just when you think the album's going to stay in that dark, heavy place, you get to 3.
Yeah.
And it's almost peaceful.
Right. It's this beautiful melodic break with these soaring, clean vocals from Åkerfeldt.
Yeah.
But what really caught my ear was the harp.
Oh, yeah. A harp. That's unexpected.
It is.
Does it symbolize the girl with polio, do you think?
Could.
Her innocence amidst all this ugliness?
That's a really interesting interpretation.
Yeah.
It definitely adds this ethereal, almost fragile quality to the song.
Right.
Which contrasts sharply with the heavier tracks.
And then, bam, 4/4 hits you with that 12-tone stuff.
Yeah.
It's like being thrown into a musical maze,
all
dissonant and unsettling.
It's definitely the most experimental track on the album.
Oh, yeah.
But even though it's challenging, it's still so engaging.
Okay.
And then you have Ian Anderson's flute solo in the middle of all that chaos, somehow making it even more beautiful.
Okay, that is just wild.
Yeah.
It's like Åkerfeldt is a mad scientist mixing all these different musical elements together and somehow making it work.
He's a master of contrast, that's for sure.
Right.
And it all serves the story.
Yeah.
Creating this emotional roller coaster that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Speaking of roller coaster, I can't imagine what it must have been like recording this album at Rockfield Studios.
No.
Did they feel the ghosts of rock legends looking over their shoulders?
Well, they did mention finding sheep and horses outside their windows.
What?
Which is pretty far from the rock and roll lifestyle we usually associate with that studio.
Huh. Okay. Maybe not ghosts then.
Right.
But it's still amazing to think that this album was born in the same place as some of the most iconic rock albums of all time.
It definitely adds a sense of history and legacy to the whole project.
Okay, so we've talked about the overall sound, the guest appearances, the historical significance of the studio.
Yeah.
But what about the new guy, Walter?
Yeah.
How does his drumming actually contribute to the storytelling?
It's more than just keeping the beat, that's for sure.
Right.
His playing is so dynamic.
Okay.
Shifting from these thunderous fills
to
these intricate, almost jazzy patterns. He's like a chameleon, adapting his style to fit the mood of each song.
So it's not just that he's technically skilled.
Yeah.
He's actually using his drumming to enhance the emotional impact of the music.
Exactly. And when you consider that Åkerfeldt wrote some of his most challenging drum parts ever for this album, it makes Väyrinen's performance even more impressive.
Okay, color me intrigued. I'm definitely going to be paying close attention to his drumming when I listen again.
You won't be disappointed. Now let's shift gears and talk about those lyrics.
Okay.
Åkerfeldt has said he wanted to write something more relatable this time, drawing on his own life and family history.
Yeah, that really comes through in the songs. It's not just a fantasy story. It feels very grounded.
Right.
Very human.
There's a vulnerability there that's really striking.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider how private Åkerfeldt usually is.
Yeah.
He's opening himself up in a way we haven't really seen before.
And I bet those death growls take on a whole new meaning when you think about them as expressions of his own personal struggles.
It's like he's using that raw aggression to purge those demons, to confront those difficult emotions head on.
Wow. Yeah, that gives me chills.
Yeah.
It makes a whole album feel so much more personal, so much more powerful.
It definitely adds another layer of depth to the listening experience. But even beyond Åkerfeldt's personal story, there's this universal theme of family secrets and hidden legacies that I think will resonate with everyone.
Totally. We all have those skeletons in our closets, those stories that have been passed down through generations.
Yeah.
And this album really makes you think about the weight of those stories, the impact they have on our lives.
It's like Opeth is holding up a mirror, forcing us to confront those hidden truths.
Yeah.
Both within ourselves and within our families.
Okay, so we've talked about the music, the lyrics, the history, but what about the mystery?
Right.
We still haven't gotten to the bottom of this whole will situation.
We know there's a twist. We know it involves the twins and the girl with polio.
Right.
But we haven't revealed exactly how it all plays out.
And you're not going to tell me now, are you?
Not just yet. We'll save that for the final part of our deep dive.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
But let me just say,
okay,
the way Opeth reveals this truth, musically and lyrically, is absolutely masterful.
Okay. Okay. So we're back, and I am so ready to unravel this whole mystery at the heart of the Last Will and Testament.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been dancing around this big twist
Right.
all episode long, and now I need to know, like, how does it actually all come together at the end?
Remember how we were talking about those song titles being like legal documents?
Yeah, like section symbols and Roman numerals.
Exactly.
It's like we're piecing together the will as we go,
Right.
uncovering the secrets along with the characters.
That structure becomes even more important, I think, in the final two tracks.
Okay.
7 and 7, and A Story Never Told.
Oh, wow. Even the titles
Right.
give you a sense that something big is about to happen.
Yeah, like a foreboding.
Yeah. Okay, so as we're approaching this climax, what's the musical vibe like?
Well, section 7 starts with this really ominous, almost mournful feeling.
Okay.
You know, it's like the weight of the family's history, all those lies and betrayals is finally crushing them.
Wow.
And then, you know, Ian Anderson's flute.
Oh, yeah. He's back.
It just adds this otherworldly dimension, like a ghost whispering through the wreckage.
Man, his contributions to this album are just next level.
I know, right?
But then we get to A Story Never Told.
Yeah.
And that title alone
It's heavy.
is like a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
This is it.
This is the moment of truth.
The big reveal.
Here we go. Okay, so lay it on me. What happens?
The twins aren't related to the patriarch.
What?
And the girl with polio, the one who was always overlooked, is the true heir.
Wow. I can only imagine what like the emotional fallout from that would be.
Oh, it's huge.
So how do they translate that into music?
Well, the song starts off with this driving, almost frantic energy.
Okay.
It's like they're all racing towards this truth.
Desperate to uncover it, but also terrified of what they might find.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for, right?
Exactly.
You might not like what you uncover.
But then as the truth sinks in, the music shifts completely.
Okay.
It becomes much more melancholic and reflective. It's like everyone's just taking a collective breath, trying to process this bombshell that changes everything.
And Åkerfeldt's vocals, I mean, he must be all over the map emotionally in this song.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
It's incredible, really. He goes from these raw, almost primal growls to these incredibly tender, heartbreaking, clean vocals.
Wow.
You can hear the pain, The confusion, but also the sense of, like, acceptance, maybe? Like they're finally letting go of the past.
It sounds like a really powerful ending to an already intense album.
It is.
So does it offer any resolution, or are we just kind of left hanging?
I think that's the brilliance of it. It doesn't give you easy answers.
Okay.
It leaves you pondering the weight of family legacies.
Yeah.
The complexities of truth and forgiveness.
Yeah.
And even though it's a specific story, the themes are so universal that they stay with you long after the music ends.
I think that's what makes Opeth so special. They tackle these huge existential questions, but they do it through this incredibly powerful and evocative music.
Safely.
It's an experience, you know?
It is an experience.
Not just a collection of songs.
And with The Last Will and Testament, they've managed to push their boundaries even further.
Total.
Creating something that's both deeply personal and universally relatable.
So for our listener who's maybe on the fence about checking out this album, what's the one thing you want them to take away from this deep dive?
I want them to understand that this is more than just another metal album.
Okay.
This is a story, a journey, an invitation to confront the complexities of family and legacy.
Right.
And it's told through some of the most innovative and emotionally charged music Opeth has ever created.
I think it's safe to say that they've delivered another masterpiece. One that will definitely have people talking for years to come.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, folks, there you have it. Our deep dive into Opeth's The Last Will and Testament is complete.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Now go experience the album for yourselves and let us know what you think.